Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tea time. My name is JaKaTaK, and normally one sip of tea turns me back into normal voice JaKaTaK, but that did not happen, so we'll have to have two. Today I want to talk about the fact. All right, and this is a tough fact. This is a tough fact. All right, true facts coming in. Legacy of the Void is not the Protoss expansion. It's true. It's true. And this is for the simple reason that single player and multiplayer are two different things, right? So we get all this new Protoss stuff, Protoss lore, Protoss art, things look Protoss, the StarCraft 2 is in gold of the Armada, and all of this stuff, it's like, ooh, wow, that's cool. It's the Protoss expansions. Like, yes, for everything, but multiplayer. Because, like, thinking about it from sort of like a balance perspective, it's like the Protoss are not entitled to extra cool stuff or like they're not entitled to more units than the other, or even the same new units as the other races, because the multiplayer is about creating a really fun game overall, not about making Protoss the most fun race to play, but it's about creating a fun and competitive gaming experience. I think, right? I'm sure that they have better words to describe that than I do, but I've always seen it that way. Whatever it is, we know what it is not, and it's not to make only cool stuff for the Protoss or mostly cool stuff for the Protoss. It's that's not what it's about. So it's like no one in Blizzard is like, oh, you know what we need to do. Protoss, since this is the Protoss expansion, like, I don't think anyone starts their sentence in like the multiplayer development team saying, well, this is the Protoss expansion, so we're gonna have to, in a serious way, do this extra stuff for the Protoss that we wouldn't normally do, but since it's the Protoss expansion, like, that's not, it doesn't make very much sense. I don't think. What do you think? Why would the balance of the game should be favored for the Protoss expansion? It's like, it's not really the Protoss expansion. On top of that, from a sort of like, I guess, marketing perspective, I don't know. Like, from like a sales perspective, it's sort of like, if you make the Protoss way cooler than the other races, then you're alienating 2/3 of your like viewership. Not viewership. Oh man, you've been YouTube too long. Of your player base, right? So it doesn't make much sense. You want to sort of, I think, create a fun experience overall, the whole game, not just one race, and not favoring one race over the other, because then people will feel they've been treated unfairly or whatever, And that's kind of what's happening right now as a result of Protoss not getting enough cool stuff at BlizzCon to their liking. There are many sad Protoss players out there, but if you're a Protoss player out there, don't be a sad Protoss. There's more stuff to come. And the fact that normally it's sort of like, oh, okay, the Protoss didn't get quite as much cool stuff. Cool stuff ratio was a little bit lacking in the Protoss world of the BlizzCon build, I think. I think that. I'm down with that idea, that makes sense to me. But that gets exacerbated if you come in with the assumption that Protoss is supposed to get more cool stuff than the other race, and it's like, oh my god, it's so messed up. But it's like, oh really, there's just like, Protoss could use a couple more cool things. I'm pretty confident that Blizzard's going to throw in another Protoss unit before this is all over. It's just, it wasn't ready at BlizzCon. They didn't have a unit that they liked at BlizzCon, probably. Again, I don't speak for Blizzard. This is just my speculation. That's why you watch Tea Time, I think. Question to you. Why do you watch Tea Time? Because you're watching it right now, and you've been watching it for 5 minutes exactly. When I said 5 minutes, it was exactly 5 minutes, which is awesome. So why do you watch Tea Time? Leave your comments below. But that's what, yeah, that's, you know, it's like, it's not really the Protoss expansion. It's going to be cool for the story, and I'm excited for it, but as far as the multiplayer goes, I have total confidence that Blizzard is going to make it super awesome because they're working on it in like insanely, like all kinds of stuff is happening behind the scenes. And the alpha build that we approximated to the best of our ability is already so fun. It's like, it's insane. I played, I streamed, casted with Fear Dragon one game of Heart of the Swarm, and I was instantly bored. I was just like, oh man, when are we gonna get to the part where they're fighting each other? And I was like hanging out there being like, oh man, this is why the casters hang out and there's dead space and they just wait for something to be happening, and it's like, oh man, like Legacy of the Void is so much fun, it's fast paced, I love it. And it's not even really Legacy of the Void, it's just this like, you know, our best guess at how the things looked at BlizzCon, and they did some stuff. I mean, David Kim even said the nerf to the Ravens point defense drone was a temporary thing just for BlizzCon because they needed to present some kind of a build that would be fun to play during the playtests. And if it got around that point defense drone was broken in the new build or something, you know, maybe I assume they changed it because there was some sort of thing that made the point defense drone really, really strong, right? Otherwise, why would they nerf it? Not that it's already really strong. You know, people like to say that Ravens are really strong, and I have to agree. Been saying it for a long time. Go watch Catrock's stream. But yeah, you know, my wrist feels good. Legacy of the Void is not the Protoss expansion, but it is super ridiculously fun. And tell me why you watch Tea Time. That's it. I just did some weird sort of conclusion wrap-up thing that I usually don't do, but here it is. What do you think about that? Should I do that? Maybe. In any case, thanks for tuning in, hang out, etc. I'm going to go try to unlock the secret to perfect creep spread. Wish me luck.